So, hello everybody, and welcome to a very special show. We had to do it so that we keep you engaged because United are not playing this weekend. United are not playing. So I've pulled together this amazing team, as you can see here. We have Kimi Apps, we have KC Reacts, and we have United Talks podcast. All of us streaming simultaneously to our YouTube channel. So I'm sure it will pop up. United Talks is still setting up on his own stream. But Kimi, Casey, United Talks, salutations,
Guys,
man. How are you feeling? How are you doing?
cheers,
Fine,
man.
hello,
It's good to
UKG.
have you here.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us here and all of that. But yes, it's fun. It's going to be a huge show for everybody. So let's keep it going. Let's get cracking.
Yeah. So I've been asked by the authority in the house to only allow 1 hour in this show because we know which day it is. So we are only allowed to be here 1 hour. So it's going to be a quick debate. But the first thing, and I'm going to start with Kimi on this. What is happening with United? Because whenever we have a bit of calm, like we think things are coming down, there is always another scandal. United have started winning matches. Then Jim Ratcliffe comes out and puts the club in a very difficult position. What's happening to United, man?
I mean, it's yet another day as a Manchester United fan, isn't it? You cannot have 1 week. You cannot have 1 week of just positive news. There has to be always something about Manchester United. And I said this earlier. Jim Ratcliffe is the CEO of the Ineos Group, right? He's just a minority shareholder of Manchester United. I mean, even the interview where he made these comments, it was not a Manchester United interview. The questions he was being asked about was not about football, right?
Yeah.
Every single place you turn now, it's Manchester United CEO said this. Manchester United, it's crazy. It's just one of the things that come with the environment of being the biggest club in the land.
Yeah, United Talks. I hope you settle down.
Yeah.
How does this affect United? Because it's a different discussion, but as Kimi has said, it's now a United discussion. It's not really a Jim Ratcliffe said kind of discussion. How does this affect the club?
Yeah. In a huge way, it does affect the club from the standpoint of the diversity of players in the team, in the squad. Because I was reading a tweet or a post from someone some few hours ago, maybe yesterday or something, and the person just listed out like a host of how many players, African players, and even like international players that play at Man United, the current ones and the ones that have played in the past. Just imagine having all of those and then having these comments being made. First and foremost, just like Kimi Apsa said, you just have to think, like, for him, in as much as he is the co-owner of Manchester United, he also represents the club. He's the face of the club wherever he is. So no matter what happens, any comments he makes it affects the club. Hence why the club has gone out and made a statement already, trying to say, we're a club that represents diversity and all of that. It is a very sensitive topic, and he himself, being an experienced person who has already understood where the direction of these kinds of communications or conversations go, should understand how to put out his comments in such a way that it's not so derogatory. Because if you ask that kind of sensitive questions, there are ways you can diplomatically answer them without having to put out stats, whether the stats are correct or the stats are not. There are ways you can put out stats without actually making it sound so divisive, because it's the divisive nature of the topic that is causing the issue around the world and in the club as well, because now fans are divided. You have people who are for immigration, you have people who are against immigration. And if you've not lived in England, I've said this on my channel even when I reacted to it, you will not understand the veracity of this comment. If you're outside England, you can understand it as, oh, it is controversy, it is chaos. But if you've lived in, you know that that comment is so veracious that it affects everything around, you know, the football club. So him being the face of the football club, it's really dangerous for him to make such a comment. That's my take.
Yeah. Casey, you were mentioning that Pep actually came out and said the opposite of it, because of course Pep is an immigrant. He's working for an English club, the noisy neighbors, but sponsors, players are not happy with it. So what happens? And United need money to sign players.
Yeah. I have always maintained that right now in the club, we don't need some certain distractions. Everybody, the coach, the players, everybody needs to be careful right now, because anything we do will be blown out of proportion. But this particular statement is not even anything we do. Like United Talk said, this is a very serious issue. I mean, even if that is what in your, if that is what's in your heart, it's not everything in your heart you pour out. If, you can take it privately, but you don't come out to say it. And then you just before we started the stream, you said something about him. Not you see the way Abramovich of Chelsea then was targeted. Like they were just waiting for a slip of an excuse to to deal with him. Now you said something about him not living in the country and probably not paying tax in that country, and you come on to say something like this. You're just giving them an excuse, and you know everything will be Manchester United. Now everybody will forget that he has other clubs or he has other businesses that he's running. It must be tagged Manchester United, so that if the government want to do anything, they can start. You might lose your shares. Anything can happen. We don't. We just bought the club. Like Kimi said it before, we are not playing in the next few days. Now this is all that is going to be discussed. This is everything that is going to be talked about till United play ball again. And Guardiola, because I've been seeing clips of it, he said exactly the opposite of what Jim said. Then this country was built on the back of immigrants, this, that, yada yada, And I don't like it. Like I said, we don't need those kind of distractions. It's going to cost us. It's going to cost us a lot, probably sponsors and stuff. And you are saying we are broke, and now we are going to be losing sponsors.
Yeah, because there were rumors that some players will down their tools. They will not play until he apologizes. The apology came out. Basically, to me, he was doubling down on what he said. And before we came on live, United Talks podcast mentioned and said, hey, this is a very sensitive topic because it's divisive. Kimi also said it's a divisive topic. So focusing on United, whatever is happening in the UK, me living in Kenya, I don't have a lot to say about it. But I'll speak in terms of me supporting the club. I will say what I've always said. When you're in a position of influence, you need to think twice. I would rather you pause, run through the words in your mind, run through the scenarios of how it's going to be interpreted, the perception and all that before you actually say it. Because you see, it was an issue to do with UK politics, and it has affected the club in terms of players, in terms of sponsors, and rightfully so. All of us agree that right now United don't need distractions. Looking at what has happened in January with Amorim, with Fletcher, with Carrick, the last thing we need right now is to have such kind of distractions. So it's a topic where you like, do I even continue saying something or not? Because it's a very sensitive topic, Kimi. It's a very sensitive topic.
If I must say something, there's a statement that is always being repeated. Keep politics out of football.
Yeah.
It's something that we've been talking about for decades now. It seems like both UEFA have laws against it. Even the Premier League has guidelines against keeping politics out of football. But right now, it seems like the politics is coming into football outside of the traditional sources of footballers, right? You're having a minority shareholder at a club bringing politics into football. Now, like you said earlier, it's a sensitive topic. I have my personal opinions about it, but like I will always say, this is not a political platform. It's a footballing platform. So it will be very important to stick to the facts. I know where I stand, and I believe people close to me know where I stand on the conversation of immigration, right? And if you want to look at the standpoint, I think if Kobe Mainoo's parents are not immigrants themselves, they are children of immigrants, right? That's already a conversation in the living room. If you remember, Amad Diallo was subject to some human trafficking scandal just a few years ago. Came all the way from Ivory Coast to Italy. He has moved around. He has experienced that movement firsthand. He has experienced the migration firsthand. So if you're looking at the atmosphere in the dressing room, these people are human beings. If we are sticking just purely to the sports, right? These people are human beings, and they will definitely have friends. They will definitely have friends around, and it's definitely going to have a hit on their morale. And in a way, it's a blessing. It's a blessing that we are not playing so quickly after this incident, because at the very least, you can give the players some time to process the news, find a way to make peace with it, move on. Because for anybody saying the Manchester United player is going to down tools because of what Sir Jim said, then that player is not fit to wear the shirt. Yeah. You are a Manchester United jersey. Whenever you cross that white line onto the pitch, you owe the fans. You owe the fans your maximum effort, right? You owe the fans your maximum effort. So to say you're gonna down tools and all, I feel it's unprofessional from any player. And also, I would like to say this because I've been seeing some other comments. I posted some videos about it yesterday, and I've been seeing some comments too on my DMs and TikTok. They don't even comment on the video; they come straight to my DMs, right? And I would like to say this: Manchester United is one of the biggest clubs in the world, definitely the biggest club in England, not because of only the fans that are currently watching the matches in the stadium. Of course, those are like a big portion of the support. Right? Manchester United is the biggest club in the world because of global support. No matter where you go in the world, as long as you're putting on that jersey that United Talks is wearing right now, you will definitely find 5, 6, 7, 10, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 1 million people that are supporting that club as if it's a religion. So making certain comments, and a lot of those people around the world will be hoping to migrate. You know, the world is now a global village. It's not like it was 4 decades ago. The world is a global village. It's much smaller than it was. You know, so in my opinion, the 12 days that we have now, 11 days that we have before we play football, is a blessing. We can find a way this matter out in-house, get some of the players that are already disgruntled on board, and then we keep moving. Now, onto the matter of sponsorships. Now we need to see Omar Berrada and co. earn their money. They have to now prove that they deserve to be paid the big bucks. You have to go. I think we recently announced a partnership with Malaysia Air. You have to go out there, talk to these people, and convince them Manchester United as an institution is different from Sir Jim Ratcliffe as an individual. True. That is another cogent point that needs to be cleared out, right? If you're talking about, sponsors will not want to come to the club. No. Manchester United as a footballing institution is very different from Sir Jim Ratcliffe as a human being, right? It's very different from the Glazers as human beings. So I think that is where Omar Berrada and the rest of them up top that are more experienced in marketing and all that are going to have to prove to us that they actually deserve to be paid the big bucks that they are being paid. We can't be losing sponsorships because of what Sir Jim said. I mean, like you said, the apology, I used the air quotes intentionally. That was not an apology. The apology was more like, I'm sorry you got hurt by what I said, but it is what it is. Things easier. But I
basically,
feel,
basically he was saying the choice of words. But he stands by what he's saying.
You got hurt by my choice of words. Yeah, that's what he said. I'm sorry you got hurt by my choice of words, but it needed to be said. So I feel Berrada has to prove now. Berrada and the marketing team, they have to prove now that they are worthy of earning that money. And don't forget, UKG United is still a big brand, no matter what. If we qualify for the Champions League, any sponsor will be foolish not to attach themselves to Manchester United right now. That's just the truth. This is one of the biggest clubs in the world. Finally, at Europe's premium competition, you'll be quite foolish to say because of one comment by a minority shareholder. Let us state the facts. He's a minority shareholder, right? One comment by that, you cannot say you are canceling opportunity to get your brand much needed visibility. So I hope that is not going to affect anything.
Sorry. Just let me just drop it quickly. Kimi said something about he will be disappointed if the players go on to they said something about a form of protest or something about that. See, football these days is all about brand. They are doing that thing for self-preservation. If they don't do that, the brands too will sponsor them because each of them have individual brands. That's why not wearing like, I don't want to sound political, not wearing the handband, the colored handband is a big deal. Not doing for certain things, it is not taking the knee is a big deal. It's for their personal brand. They're not even about, they don't care about us, or if they might not actually care about what Jim said. It's just personal brand. So that those brands out there, because these things are popular these days. I mean, Trump won election just because of something like this. You understand? So this is a problem.
So before you go, United. The reason why I want to just add to something, because I saw this before Jim Ratcliffe made his apology, or so-called apology. I think it's Kevin Keegan. I think he's one of those financial football analysts or financial football journalists who made a comment that Michael Carrick is going to address the players to try to kind of separate Sir Jim Ratcliffe's comments from the club and the stance of the club. And I start thinking, I'm like, okay, does he need to address the players to try to bring them on side? Because at the end of the day, like you guys said, they are all playing for their brand. Are they gonna like when I hear that players down tools, maybe like a year ago, I used to think a player will not just down tools because of a certain maybe manager or style of play or system or anything, and then now you say, and now you're hearing players are going to down tools for a comment made by the co-owner. He is a co-owner. He owns only 27%. But yes, like I said, he's the face of the club, the footballing aspect of the club and everything. But then it just boils down to the fact that this club is too big. Like Kimi Apps just said, it's too big, and there's it's bigger. In fact, unless you're in the club, you would not know how big it is. It's beyond just Old Trafford and Carrington Training Ground. It's such a big brand. But yeah, I just had to make that comment because that was what I saw immediately after the comments. Next thing I heard was that Michael Carrick was going to address the players. That's pretty much.
Yeah, I don't think it's the right thing to do. He's not been hired to sort out political issues. He's not been hired to sort out leadership issues at the board level. He's been hired to just manage the team and win matches. And speaking of shareholders, one of the majority shareholders, Avram Glazer, has reportedly placed a $1.8 billion amount to buy Royal Challengers Bengaluru. That is an IPL club in India. So United talks. United are in huge debt, close to 1.2 billion, if not 1.5, and then they are taking a $1.8 billion amount to bid for an IPL club. And reports started coming out yesterday that United have extended their loan. What's going on, man?
You see this financial situation that the club is in, like it's not going to end until the Glazers are gone. Not gonna lie. Since 2005, since they took over the club, they've been drowning this club from head to toe. Whether they're looking for sponsorships or they're looking for an opportunity to bring more money to the club, they are still drowning the club. And that's why people are not completely satisfied with the way Sir Jim Ratcliffe took over the club. Now, if Sir Jim Ratcliffe bought the entire club, that would have been, maybe you guys are saving us from this guy, the Glazers. Now we're caught between two people. I don't want to say anything negative other than the fact that we're caught between two of them, based on the fact that one is busy drowning the club. They've taken millions and millions of dollars out of the club, or pounds out of the club every year in dividends. And then they are using that money to invest in all of their other businesses. You think about even like the NFL club, and the NFL club they own. You see the standard of the facility that they have. Even before Sir Jim Ratcliffe said, okay, we're going to put in 50 million to be able to upgrade Carrington, you needed to have seen the standard of the facility that the football club had. That so much so that they didn't even want Man United players to come to the training ground of that football club because they don't want them to see what is going on in there. But even you as a fan from the outside can see that these guys poured in money into their own baby project. That is what it is. So there is a whole lot riding on the fact that the Glazers are just drowning the club. That's all I can just say. They're just drowning the club. And then they are using the monies that they get from drowning the club to build more, invest in more businesses and buy more stakes in different clubs. And it's just so disappointing and annoying. The 1.8 million or billion or whatever amount of money they wanted to use to buy the IPL club could have been used to invest in this beast of Manchester United, to actually raise the club to a higher standard, to make more than 1 point whatever million or billion for their own coffers. They can even use it to pay off the debt. But you know, the big guys, they always like to ride on debt and continue to extend these kinds of things. And I wish that now it even makes us wish that why didn't we have, you know, the Qataris or the Saudis take over the club and just clear out the debt. That's what it makes everybody now wish. Because you have Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who is now said to be in bed with the Glazers. And then you now have, you know, the Glazers just drowning the club. That's all I can say that they're doing, just drowning the club on a daily basis. And it is not good. And obviously, there's a narrative going out there that the British will not let Man United die because Man United is an English club and it's the face of English football. But yeah, they still allow the American owners to drown the club, and they've been doing that for more than 21 years. That is bad.
Yeah. Casey, what do you think about setting up a GoFundMe? We pay off the debt.
In Nigeria, let me use Nigeria terms. If to say Glazers, they do give away for do they don't give away for us. Whenever they do give away. They don't do give away. How are we going to do GoFundMe? Anyways, on the lighter, I mean, United is struggling. Why are you buying it? Why are you doing that? Why are you are struggling financially? You know, why are you putting bid for another project? You know, in another sport or something. And it goes to show that this is just like a money vehicle. It's not even that they don't care about this club. They just care. They just like this club is like a money printing machine for them. Yeah, you understand? It says a lot about where their heart is. It says a lot about where their heart is. And as a businessman, you have to be shrewd. I don't even actually blame them. Business is business. You understand? Just that
that meme, you know that meme. What's the guy's name? It's business. It's business. That Nigerian movie. What's the guy's name?
Yeah,
he keeps saying it's business.
Yeah, because they're looking at it from a business side. Okay.
Yeah.
To them, we're doing well business wise. You know, that's what, because if you're not doing well business wise, there's no need to expand elsewhere. That's how I see it. We are not doing, in the football side, we are not doing well. But if I'm sure if you're not doing well business wise, they won't want to expand because you have not done one. Why are you doing two? You know,
true.
So probably we are doing well business wise. That's why they are expanding. But this is the I think why we have an issue with it is that it's not that we hate. Okay, we don't like what they're doing. Hate is a strong word. We don't like what they're doing, but it shows priorities. This club is not where it's supposed to be financially, not as like the footballing side. Some of those money can be used to invest in the club. We are saying about I mean, if you get two quality midfielders, Tonelli, I saw 100 million, and you know, Tonelli, some other guys, we can get 3-4 quality players. They will go a long way in helping this club to achieve whatever thing. No matter back, if we had Anderson and Tonelli in our squad, if like played 2-6-2-1, I'm sure we'll play well. It's not about no matter formation we play. It's true. If we have those guys in our team, if we have Tonelli, Anderson, maybe Diamande then gets a left wing back or a right wing back. You know, no matter what formation is not a problem. If we qualify for Champions League, we'll start making money. But this is their priority.
Yeah.
This club is making us money. Let's go on. And Kimi will talk about that because he mentioned it. I think in one of the lives I watched him, he said about they even tried to use the United way to even get this thing. They tried to go by their own way. Those people say, "Don't try this here. this is not United." To achieve that, you understand? So this is my issue. With the whole thing is this is where your priority lies. That you are telling us that this club is just your financial vehicle. It's like the financial mechanism. You're not even crying about like us that are passionate about the club. You're not even doing it. And the Ineos too is now we don't know if they are the victim or if they are enabling it.
True.
You understand? We don't know. We can't say for sure if Ineos is the victim or if they are enabling it. You understand? So it's a very very big problem. I don't like that they left the club and are trying to do something else elsewhere. But like I said, it's business to them, and business is business. As a businessman, you have to be ruthless. I think that's what think about your press before any other thing. I think that's what they are trying to do. But it's not good for the club, Manchester United.
Yeah. Now let me pull in Kimi on this because Kimi has been quite passionate about the club finances. Kimi, what if the Glazers are buying other assets with the view of offloading United?
Honestly, I don't think those guys are interested in letting Manchester United go. We have a £2 billion stadium coming up. That stadium is a cash cow if it gets built, right? If that stadium is completed, it's going to give them a heck of a lot of money. Like Casey said, it's business. No businessman is going to leave and sell off an asset when there is huge money-making potential just around the corner. Right? And I think if you've been following the news around the stadium, progress has been made with approvals and the rest from the Greater Manchester Board and all those other things. Right? Casey said hate is a strong word. Well, that is him. I am not him. I absolutely hate
Be gentle, come on now. Be gentle. There are some kids watching. And it's the day of love. Come on, man. It's the day of love.
Oh yes. I wish few people could get the Glazers and shoot them with an arrow so they begin to love. I'm telling you.
They love their pockets.
Maybe that's a better way to put it.
You know, I was discussing with a friend last night. We're just having a few drinks and we're discussing about the whole issue with Sir Jim. And I said something, and it was when I got home, I sat down to think about it. I told him something. I said, what has happened over the last 2 weeks is a true symbol of how messed up Manchester United is as a football club, right? You have just less than a week ago, if not a little bit above a week, the Glazers are pushing out 1.8 billion to buy a cricket team in India. And then a few days later, you have the minority shareholder, the person that is supposed to be in charge of football operations, making a gaffe in an interview, right? It just shows where we are as a club. It shows how unfortunate we are with ownership. Casey said something about he's not sure if Ineos are victims or they are 100% backing what the Glazers are doing. They are not victims. They know exactly who they were. You don't become a billionaire. You don't run a $1 billion organization or $1 million organization without having some sense of business acumen, right? You don't run a business of that scale without having people doing background checks and having proper conversations and having your lawyers ask the pertinent questions. They know exactly what they were doing when they came to Manchester United. When Ineos came to Manchester United, I was not recreating content then, but even then I was saying it. I said, these guys are coming in to help the Glazers grab onto Manchester United. Let's face it, Sir Jim is a Manchester lad, right? That's what he keeps telling everybody, even though he was a Chelsea season ticket holder, telling us that he's a Manchester lad. He wants to bring the Manchester back to Manchester United. Of course, they are going to give him an easier time to get the stadium approved, right? And what was one of the first things they started doing when he came into the club, start discussing about the stadium. Right? If we want to discuss about this, I think United Talk said a lot about the amount of debt. We've paid over 1.5 billion since these guys took out this debt. You have 1.8 billion to buy a cricket club. This is Manchester United that has basically been bankrolling you for some years. Can you not pay off some of these debts? Because if it's even business, let's look at it from this angle. Is Manchester United winning Champions Leagues and Premier League trophies not better for the business that they are trying to run as a football? You're trying to run a football club. Is running a successful football club not more profitable than running whatever Manchester United is right now? It just makes more logical sense. If Manchester United are winning, they are not in debt, they are getting trophies, getting the best players in the world, the marketing is going to even be more outrageous than it is right now. We are struggling now, and we are still constantly fighting at the top of the Deloitte Money League. Imagine if Manchester United was top of the table by April. You can imagine. You can check the viewership. Manchester United against West Ham was more viewed than the Super Bowl. That's a random Premier League game between Manchester United and a relegation battling team. It's not even a title battle. So now you can imagine a title battle between Manchester United and Arsenal in April. You can imagine how big it is. So if it's business, it serves you better. You've made your money from this club. You've made some decent amount of this club. We're not even saying don't spend your money in India. The reason why it seems like a slap in the face to every Manchester United fan is you keep telling us you don't have money. The club keeps... Let's not forget, Ineos sacked over 400 people from Manchester United. We seem to want to sweep that under the rug, right? These are Manchester United fans, people that support the club. There's nothing wrong with making money from the club you love. There's nothing wrong with earning a living from working for the club you love. 400 plus people were fired just because they wanted to keep giving people like Luke Shaw £100,000 contract a week. Now, no hate to Luke Shaw. I just decided to use his name because he's one of the players that just came to my lips, right? But these are the issues that we're having at the club. The club is sinking financially. They are sacking players. We are having to basically look under our couch to see if we can see any coin or change that we can use to run the club. And you have the owners of the club spending or looking to spend 1.8 billion to buy a cricket club. And mind you, they are negotiating now new terms to continue this loan. They're not talking about paying it off. They're just negotiating new terms. The interest they are going to pay over the next God knows how many years, probably another 20 years or another 30 years or 15 years as the case may be. We are supposed to be done paying off this loan in 2027. They are negotiating now not to pay off the loan, but just to renegotiate the interest payments. So the club will keep bleeding more money every single year. A club of Manchester United's revenue should not be talking about PSR every season. I will keep saying it no matter what people want to tell me, no matter how you want to gaslight me about Manchester United's finances, there is absolutely no reason why a club of Manchester United's revenue annually should constantly be walking a tightrope. We are not Aston Villa. No disrespect to Aston Villa, right? No disrespect to Aston Villa. We are not Aston Villa. No disrespect to Newcastle. We are not Newcastle. We have the money coming into the club. We get the money through people coming into the stadium, through our football matches. Even this season, when we are playing our fewest matches in God knows how many years, we are still raking in the money. We are still raking in the money. There is absolutely no reason why Manchester United will spend 250 million on transfers in one window, and they are making it sound as if they bought heaven and earth. Forgetting that in that money, that was not our net spend. You know, when people talk about transfers, I always laugh. If you want to discuss Manchester United's transfers, you also need to take into account how much they sold players for in the summer. You also need to take into account how much the wages that left the club was worth. Sure. A player earning £300,000 a week, for example, that is how much? We are looking at 1.2 million every month on just wages. Multiply that by a year, that's how much? We're looking at, how much now? We're talking about almost 10 plus million or 12 million, if I'm not mistaken, in a year. That is money being saved by the club. So if you want to discuss, we spent 250 million pounds on Matheus Cunha, on Mbomo, on Sesko. How much left the club? What was our net spend? I can bet you our net spend was not up to 200 million. And these guys keep pushing this. The actual money we spent on buying players as the only money we got. It's really irritating. It's really irritating.
And
there's a part
more
of
or less
that people are focusing on. Sorry, UKG. There's a part of the interview that people are focusing on, and it's really clever work, right? It's really, really clever work. People are focusing on the more inflammatory part where he talked about immigration. They are forgetting about the part where he talked about Ineos doing a good job at Manchester United. I watched the full interview. He said Ineos are doing a good job at Manchester United. When they came, the club was in debt, blah, blah, blah. They had to fire a lot of people, and now they've made a lot of good decisions, and he has done a good. What good job has he done? What has he done? Sacked 2 managers in the space of 2 years. Is that a good job? Right? We are currently on our 4th manager under Ineos, and we're going to move to 5 in June. You brought in a director of football from Newcastle, sacked him in the space of 1 year. I'm not just talking about you bringing these people and letting them leave for free. You're spending money. Between Amorim and Ten Hag, they spent almost 35 million pounds, if I'm not mistaken. Right? You can fact check me on that. I'm not really 100% sure, but it's within that window, both hiring and firing them. Right?
True.
You're talking about getting Danash for 12 million pounds court case. You settled with Newcastle to get him in. You fired him less than a year later. The only thing you've done is I can say, okay, yes, they set up a recruitment system that now the recruitment at the club has been much better. It's about time. A club of Manchester United cannot be moving around like a headless chicken in transfer window anyway. It's about time. I will give you credit for that, but 1/10 is not really a pass mark. It's really unfortunate whenever you look at ownership of the club. It's unfortunate, man.
Yeah, it's what you've mentioned about spending, the expenditure, the net spend and all that. It's more or less like someone who owns a business. They buy stock. Let's say they can buy stock at 100 million. And then they sell. After they sell, they get double that, 200 million. They cannot now come and say, oh, I've made 200 million out of the business. No. You did spend money on stock. So if you spend 100 million on stock and you got 200 million out of it, the profit is 200 million. So if Ineos bought players at 250 million and the money they brought in from the loan with obligations and sales is, let's say, 100 million, then they spent 150 million. And to put it in simple terms, Manchester United having a net spend of 150 million, I'm just giving an example, a ballpark figure. It's not really much money to brag about. You look at Arsenal, City, Liverpool, other clubs around United that are quote unquote big as United. They are spending 600, 500 million. Then their net spend goes down to the same amount as United. Because if City spent 600 million in a span of 12 months, how much have they accrued in terms of selling players? And that's where now we go to the next bit, the next discussion. Amorim was there. He's become a very, very sensitive name to mention. Whenever you mention Amorim, it's like you're opening wounds. It's like you're opening wounds. And I'll start with the United Talks on this. I made a video stating that Carrick, there is a huge probability. Actually, that was my first statement. There is a huge probability that Carrick is benefiting from Amorim's work, especially when it comes to off-field matters, getting rid of toxicity, some of the passengers and all that. But now one of the questions United Talks I want to ask, as well as Casey and Kimi, is guys are asking, if Amorim set it up, why did he not benefit from it? Why is Carrick succeeding and Amorim failed?
Now, what I'm going to say maybe might not be as pleasing to hear, because the truth is I kind of took myself away from the whole Amorim talk. But each and every time I decide to take myself away from the Amorim talk, the Amorim outers will bring me back. And then when I talk, they say, no, I don't want to let go of Amorim. I don't want to move on from Amorim. I have moved on, but you've brought me back into the Amorim conversation. You brought a manager and told the manager, we like what you're doing at Sporting, right? We like what you're doing at Sporting, and we want you to replicate it there. What do I mean? You can bring up young players. You know how to work with a shoestring budget. You know how to build a team from ground up. Sporting were in a mess, and then they got a manager who can work things out. Somebody who was coaching in Casapia, was assistant coach at Benfica and Braga and all of those things. You brought him. He came, saw the chaos, weeded out the chaos, weeded out players that were causing problems, even when fans were already entering the training ground. He weeded them out and then got the players in, including, even up until the time he left, he brought up a certain player that played against us and played really well at West Ham in Mateus Fernandes. Nobody even thought about that. But Mateus Fernandes played under Ruben Amorim for 1 year and was sent out on loan. And from there, the club needed more money, so they had to sell him because he was their asset. Now he's still just 22 and still playing really well. Now, you brought that guy, you say, okay, we want to build similar model. We know your style of play, come and play. Kimi Yap's already saying something where he said that you sacked a manager after you forced Amorim out. It was a hostile takeover. You took Amorim out of his contract, paid off the contract, got the guy. 14 months later, sacked the guy, paid him off. Now, the truth is, Amorim already started. It's just like laying the foundation for a building. If you lay a solid foundation, you're going to have... Are you going to tell me that Brian Bumo, Mateus Cunha, and Benjamin Sesko did not play well under Ruben Amorim? They did play well. He set the foundation. He said, this is how the team is going to play. People are talking about, oh, the double pivot doesn't work. Casemiro cannot work with this person. It's still a double pivot we're playing today. Michael Carrick still plays a variation of Amorim's formation without playing it all the time. On paper, he lines up as a 4-2-3-1, but Michael Carrick's original formation is an asymmetric 3-2-5. Against West Ham, he even played 2 at the back and sent everybody forward. At the point, it was only Lenny Yoro that was actually trying to cover up for Lisandro Martinez, because Lisandro Martinez doesn't have that pace anymore.
Yeah,
that's why they didn't score. Lenny Yoro had 2 world-class tackles, but he put Lenny Yoro in that team to kind of show, to kind of help us show at the back, so that we can actually, have more opportunities to go forward. He put Brian Mbeumo as right back. You can imagine that. But if it was a certain Ruben Amorim that did it, he's like, oh, he's subbing a defender for a defender. He's putting Brian Mbeumo in his wrong position. He's playing Ahmad as a left winger when he should be a right wing. These are the things. The issue is, in fact, the fact we all know, if you are a proper football enthusiast, you will know that Ruben Amorim set the foundation for what we have right now. Brian Mbeumo came out the other day and said it. They tried to put him in a trap, like, oh, what has Michael Carrick done? How have you felt about the club since the Michael Carrick came? He said, the things we are doing now, we've already been doing it before. We're just even doing it better now. Then they say, oh, the vibes in training has changed. Michael Carrick is taking training. The first video of Amorim I made, he was in the middle of the pitch taking training. Coaching Kobe Menu, giving Kobe Menu one-on-ones. Then somebody comes and say, oh, Ruben Amorim came out and said, oh, Kobe Menu cannot play with Casemiro. He is competing with Bruno Fernandes. Did he ever say he cannot play with Casemiro? He said Bruno Fernandes and Kobe Menu are playing the same position in my system. Doesn't mean that Kobe Menu is not good. Doesn't mean that he has relegated Kobe Menu. Kobe Menu is the center of the conversation now with Ruben Amorim gone. But I said this during the West Ham game. Since Kobe Menu is the star boy, he's the super player, he's the player that has been freed, let Kobe Menu save us against West Ham. Kobe Menu made only one cross into that box, and that was a cross that was offside. The rest, he was playing sideways, keeping it safe. No risky pass. Yet you compare with a certain Bruno Fernandes that has played 314 games with 200 goal contributions. Bro. So the thing is, Ruben Amorim already set the foundations for what Michael Carrick is reaping now. And why it has become more evident is because Michael Carrick played
Mm.
a different formation. The truth is,
Yeah.
Ruben Amorim already said it. They need to just master this 3-4-3. The moment they get the hang of it, we can play any formation in the world. We can play a 4-4-2.
True.
We can play a 4-3-3. We can play different variations. And I'll tell you an evidence. Ruben Amorim left Sporting, right? Since he left Sporting, they've changed 2 managers. They've had an interim, and then now have a manager. The Sporting play a 4-2-3-1. How many players left? Montem Human, the centerpiece of Ruben Amorim's formation at Sporting. Montem Human is still playing now.
Yeah.
Sporting are third with 1 point behind the second at Liga Portugal, and they're in the semi-final facing. I think they're going to face Porto in their League Cup.
Yeah.
They are in the round of 16. They finished 7th in the Champions League. So Ruben Amorim set the foundation there. They switched to a 4-2-3-1 with practically the same players, no difference, and they're still doing well. Then you come and tell me that Ruben Amorim didn't set the foundation. Then you now hear stuff like, "Oh, but we finished 15th." Hello, the club that beat us in the Europa League final are currently 15th. Come on.
Yeah.
He set the foundation. He used the last season, as they said to him, as his building period to get the team to what he would want it to be. Then add the missing pieces. The missing pieces, get an attacker, get the attack sorted, our goal scoring, get a couple midfielders, get a couple defenders. You got the defender in a wing back, you got the 3 attackers, and then you say, no, manage what you have till the end of the season. Inadvertently writing off this season. Come on. Ruben Amorim already set the foundation, and there's no, unless you want to tell yourself the lies, Ruben Amorim already set the foundation for this team to thrive. That's why they are comfortably playing a 4-2-3-1. Even in that 4-2-3-1, there are visible lapses and loopholes. I've done an extensive tactical analysis about the gaps in the midfield. Those same gaps that they used to point out under Erik ten Hag and under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Jamie Carragher comes out and talks about a huge gap in the midfield. The gaps are still evident right now. But under Amorim, the gaps are not pretty much as evident, except on games where we had very bad games. So he set the foundation. Michael Carrick is reaping from it. And credit to Michael Carrick for actually taking on those, and adding on to those principles and succeeding with it. He has been unbeaten at the club now after coaching 8 games. He's unbeaten. He's drawn 2 and he's won 6. That's credit to him. I'm not going to take that away from him. So yeah, that's my take.
Yeah. So quickly, a minute each. Kimi, we'll start with Kimi, then we'll go to Casey. What is Carrick doing differently? Because United are unbeaten.
Carrick has kind of simplified football. Carrick has simplified football in the sense that he's not here. He's not going to be here for a long time. He's here for a good time. So why stress himself trying to get you to learn tiki-taka, tippy-tappy, run into this, run into that? Bro, you know what to do. You're a counter-attacking team. All right? This is how I want you to play. These are some different variations in the team I want you to set up with. Shaw is going to be exposed. Dogu, drop back and help Shaw. Dalo is going to be exposed. Ahmad, drop back and help. In defense, we play a 6-2-2. You know, that's what we do when we are defending, 6-2-2. Right? Just help, just play football, get the best result, keep pushing. Whereas, like United Talk said almost everything, right? You brought in Amorim for a project. Whenever you are starting a project at the beginning, it's never smooth sailing. There are always going to be issues. That is how you fine-tune your team. You see the places where things are not working. You talk to the sporting director, get a player to replace this person, get this person out, get this person in. We are bringing this person from the academy to come in. That's a project, right? What Carrick is doing is not a project. And I'm happy with what he's doing because we desperately need Champions League football. But in a sense, it's kind of unfair to compare Carrick and Amorim because comparing the two of them will be you ignoring nuance, right? Will be you ignoring nuance, and that would just you being unfair because in life, every single thing in life, there's always a catch to it. There's always nuance. Amorim was brought for a project, so he was not fighting only for results. He was looking at you can win games by playing poorly sometimes, but eventually you balance out. right? Eventually you balance out. What happened against Fulham? I said that cannot be allowed to happen. The performance, the dip in performance cannot be allowed to happen. What happened in our very next game? Throughout the first half, we were garbage. We were garbage. Some people are saying it's fatigue. I think that's BS. We're not tired. It wasn't tiredness. There was something that switched off in those players said. And we've seen that light switch go off under Ten Hag. We've seen that light switch go off under Oli. We've seen that light switch go off under Jose Mourinho. That is what the project is about. Getting some of these players that are prone to switching off out of the team, because that is very contagious, right? And also, finally, I would like to say this. When it comes to you talking about a manager that was brought in halfway through the season to put his best foot forward, because let's face it, Crystal Palace now are looking at him. Tottenham Hotspur, I think there were rumors that Tottenham Hotspur were considering him. He's not just playing for Manchester United shirt or for Manchester United suit at the end of the season. There's a possibility this can push his career forward. He needs to win. He needs to do whatever it takes to win. Amorim was doing whatever it takes to win within the project, right? So there were certain players that he was giving game time that probably wouldn't have gotten game time if he was desperate to win every single game. People like Heaven, Euro, there was a lot more patience. Now, I don't think there's that much patience. You don't do well, you're going to go to the bench. I need to win the next game. So I think comparing the two of them will not be fair. Carrick has done a great job, and whether people will agree or not, Ruben Amorim did a great job giving the tools he was given to work with. I think we're almost done with the stream because of the time, but on a later date, if we have more time to discuss, we can actually discuss around how Amorim was basically working with one hand tied behind his back, right? And he did the best with what he had. And I believe Carrick is doing a good job given what he's having to work with, because let's not pretend like Carrick has everything at his disposal. He's also being hamstrung. At least he agreed to what he's facing now. He knew he was not in January. Amorim did not know all this. The promise was, we're going to get you players, we're going to get you this. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Don't compare the two of them, man. It's apples and oranges. Both good for you.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Casey,
keyword,
quickly.
and oranges, man.
Okay, yeah. I think like Kimi said, it's not about who's better. It's about the stage of rebuild that we are actually in. Amorim represented system, but Carrick is representing. I mean, Kimi made a very, very important statement. Look at what we have. Are you going to work with this? Carrick said, no problem. I'm not, to the extent that he said, I'm not promising you guys Champions League football. He understand. So he already knows what he had before he signed. But I'm sure a lot of assurances and reassurances were made to Amorim before he took that job. We'll do this for you. We'll do this for you. You know, and Amorim coming to United was about the club serving the system and not the other way around. That's why a lot of players didn't actually play, like Meno and the rest. Now, the players are saying Ahmad Ahmad now they're starting to paint Ahmad like a scapegoat. You know, yes, effective. Not somebody was in saying bench Ahmad. I was like, you know. Now I'm not saying yes. Everybody should be benched. I don't want to hear. It's the club we are focusing on. If you sit down on the bench and we'll get a win, sit down on that bench. You understand? But your favorite player is playing. That's why a lot of players and a lot of people don't even care. Now, Carrick has been playing in Buemo. We have been getting wins. Some players come off the bench and they score goal. You can start Sesko in a match and he won't get any goal. He won't play well. It happens. Malin of Aston Villa, if you start him in the match, he won't play anything. But if he comes in second half, he's very, very much effective in that second half than him starting. Now, all of a sudden, Bomo has played a first 9, and he has gotten us how many goals so far? About 9-10 goals. Now you're saying Bomo should be benched. You know, players, our fans are just all over the place. So you can't say that Carrick has done a lot of. Carrick is doing a good job. I mean, he has not lost any game. He's doing a good job, a fantastic job. He's a United boy. He knows how to maneuver all these things. And because there's no much pressure on him, because he already told you guys, I might not be able to get this for you. I just want to just see out the rest of the season. So that the pressure on him is and he's an interim coach. Now, Amorim was patient, and the club came out to say, "We'll give you 3. Ineos said about giving him 3 more years. So he relaxed
Yes.
and said, okay, if we don't get it right this 3 months, 6 months, let's see. Let me try to adapt these boys to what my ideology that I want them to play. Because I have time.
Yeah.
Because I have time to
and
work out for him. Like I said, results. If we are winning, there is no patience because of lack of results. So that will happen to him. But kudos to 2 of them. I mean, he did his job. Moses led the children of Israel to the promised land. He didn't enter. Another person took them in. So
Casey, that's the best example of the day,
bro.
So you can't say that Moses didn't try. I mean, 40 years in the wilderness is not a child's
it's
play.
not easy.
So
Yeah.
14 months on the dugout is not a child's play.
It's
Yes.
true. 14 months,
Yes.
14 months with United too.
Yeah. So anyway, because of time, we only have 3 minutes left, and I wanted to ask a quick question, but I'll give 30 seconds to each. My view of this Carrick success versus Amorim's work is more or less what all of us have said, but to simplify it is in this banner. United fans have said this and have gotten abused for it. I'm sure you guys have gone to my comment section and seen the sort of abuse I get, especially on TikTok. Manchester United fans are very emotionally volatile, especially now, because they've had a long period of success, then followed by a long period of misery. And it's the hope that kills. So when things are going on well, most United fans don't want to really have a voice of reason. They don't want to actually apply logic in some of these things. When Amorim was sacked, United were not in the relegation zone.
Facts.
United were not in the relegation zone. Carrick has picked up from... Yes. Carrick has picked up from 6th place. And we just saw in the West Ham game, when United were down 1-0, United had dropped to 6th position. So just imagine, guys, after having 4 wins, United will have been back to the position that Amorim left.
Wow.
Just look at that, guys. If West Ham won, Amorim was sacked, United being 6th, and United will have dropped to 6th. It took a draw for United to go back to 4th place. So United are still not in a good position. They are still not in a good position. And the other fact is, we keep saying that Amorim finished 15th, but he started mid-season and he said, instead of me changing things like what Carrick is doing to get wins, let me try fixing these issues right now so that next season we have a much simpler time in time. Yes, we have a better team. But anyway, that being said, because our time is running out, we only have 1 minute. So I'm going to give each one of you 30 seconds. Enrique is out. Ancelotti is going to sign a new contract. Tuchel has signed a new contract. United talks. What options do we have? Each 30 seconds so that we end the live.
I'm hearing Julian Nagelsmann. That's what I'm hearing. Basically, the manager should go for Julian Nagelsmann. He's a young manager. He's very pragmatic and everything. Julian Nagelsmann might not work at United if Ineos does not back him. That's the fact. Even the so-called Luis Enrique. Luis Enrique is a no-nonsense manager, and he does not take to being called a head coach. He is a manager. Well, they just got pummeled. They just got pummeled yesterday, 3-1. And I saw the lapses and the loopholes in his 4-3-3 formation. Luis Enrique plays a 4-3-3 formation. That formation is going to be ripped to pieces in the Premier League, right? So I don't know. The ones I'm hearing, Julian Nagelsmann, I've not really seen any solid rumor, but the major rumor I've heard, maybe from Indicala, is Luis Enrique. Apart from that, I don't know who else can come and manage this team, because the truth is they are using, I think they are putting out names so that they can generate reactions, and then they'll eventually employ Michael Carrick, because I'm hearing, oh, secretly Michael Carrick is putting his best foot forward and putting his name in the hat to be the next manager. So I mean, we're all in a conundrum right now, and Spurs too are looking for a manager. So obviously the manager market, even Nottingham Forest are looking for a manager. So the manager market is really slim and thin right now. That's my take.
Yeah. Casey.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to be the next manager, but what I want to say is whether
who do you prefer? The question is, who do you prefer?
There's no preference. Don't worry. Don't stretch yourself.
Don't stretch yourself.
The question is going to be: are we going to go with an idealist, like people like Amory, that will have a system, that plays system? Are we going to go with somebody that is just a type of Ancelotti coach? What you can do this, go and enjoy the game. And that will also, this question, if you answer it, it will also lead us to know the kind of players to sign, because it will be foolish for this club to go and sign a kind of a specialty player and give Carrick. Then when you don't employ Carrick, you employ another coach. Now the player becomes a problem. It starts sitting on the bench, wasting money. So this is the question we need to answer. Are we going to just the United DNA want to play 4-4-2? Look at, don't go and get an idealist coach and come and tell him that he must play a 4-4-2.
Yeah.
Answer this question truthfully and know the kind of coach to get. Any coach at all, like I said, anybody that comes to United, I will support that person. Anybody we employ, as long as we are winning your games. I mean, look at Rosemont. We don't know him before.
Rosemont,
We don't know him before. We don't know him before, but he was employed and he's doing well.
Kimi is frozen.
Yeah.
The phone has been snatched. The 1 hour is up, so so the phone has been snatched. So anyway, for me, Casey has basically picked the words out of my mouth, and I mentioned it in one of the TikToks. I said, basically both of you, I said it doesn't really matter whether it's Carrick or it's Enrique or it's Nagelsmann, as long as this board is not aligned, as long as this board does not back the manager, not only with transfers, but also when it comes to external pressure. The next manager needs to be shielded from external pressure. Because one thing we've seen a lot is these guys, Ineos, before that Glazers, they always hide behind the manager. So just quickly to finish, Sean, I've seen your comments. I won't display them on screen because we said it's a sensitive topic. What I can say, and I know the two gentlemen will agree with me, is number one, we sympathize and we empathize with what you're feeling. And as Africans, what you're feeling right now, we've been feeling it for generations.
Facts.
We've been feeling it for generations. So what you are feeling, we are even feeling it right now. We are having guys from Europe, from the Americas, from Asia, coming into our countries, buying off our land and chasing us away, setting up businesses.
Facts.
And what you're experiencing there, we're also experiencing it here. It's just that the sort of media coverage you're getting from there is not the sort of media coverage you're getting here. For our governments, they see it as business opportunities, as investment. They call it foreign investment. But we have our land being taken away. One day you wake up, you find a bulldozer telling you need to move out, this land has been sold, It happened during the colonial times. Whatever you're feeling right now, we felt it. Previous generations have felt it. Currently, we're also feeling it. So it's not only an issue, and we said we don't want to go into the political aspect of it, but what I want to say is, for Sean and every other guy in the UK who's listening to this, is it's not really a UK issue. It's a global issue. It's happening in Africa. It's a global issue. It's happening in Africa. It's happening in the UK. It's happening in the US. So, that's all I can say. Kimi is here. So, Kimi, 30 seconds, man. We are ending the show. I have someone standing at the door saying I need to end. So, Kimi, You are to tell us who do you prefer as the next manager. Then we end the live.
Okay, with the way things are going right now, I think it's Michael Carrick, man. That's just the truth. Because there is I don't see any world-class manager deciding to come to this club given the structure we have right now. So if we are not going to get a world-class manager with what I've seen from Michael Carrick, just keep him. There's no point. Because Enrique is not going to work with Wilcox. Imagine Wilcox coming to Enrique's training session to tell Enrique, Champions League winner, what to do. He's not going to take that crap. Ancelotti is not going to take it. Nagelsmann is not going to take that.
The Zebi can stone him. The Zebi can stone him.
The Zebi is going to have an open fight with him in the training ground. So I think just with Michael Carrick. Yeah, in my opinion, keep Michael Carrick the job till next season. Even though I think personally it's going to be a mistake, give him the job. If this is what they're going to do, if they're going to run the club, give Michael Carrick the job.
It's going to be Michael Carrick. It's going to be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer 2.0 right now, man.
Yeah, it's going to work until it doesn't. We've already started hearing
yes.
How
we don't know.
They're already talking about how the training ground is fun, how everybody now is allowing them to play train with freedom, how it doesn't give them much work. So
shorter training sessions and coming in 30 minutes later.
Carrick, the headline. Just imagine.
They forgot he hugged.
So give him the job.
They forgot he hugged Amorim earlier.
Give him the job. No matter what, under Carrick, we are going to be entertained. That's all I will say. We are going to be entertained under Carrick. So give him the job.
And support him.
Support him. Support him. So guys, we have to end the live.
Or not. If you don't support him, he's not going to complain. Don't worry.
Kimmy. Guys, we have to end the live.
Go to another level right now.
All right. Thanks for having me.
So guys, thanks. Just quickly, you can see the names there on the bottom. We did a multi-stream, not only on UKG. We also did on the KC Reacts YouTube channel. We did on UTP's, that is United Talks podcast channel. Kimi, unfortunately, we were unable to set it up before we started. But make sure you take a screen grab of all those names. Go to TikTok, go to YouTube, go to Instagram, all across all platforms. Make sure you subscribe. We always do this. Especially on Saturdays. So, guys, I know you want me to continue speaking, but our missus, the ladies will get.
No worries.
Yeah,
we understand.
Yeah.
We understand.
Okay. See ya, guys.
Mine's already walking around, so we're all good.
Okay. See ya, guys.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
All right.